Is this guy our main man?
Yeah. There was a movie made here a while ago. Do you remember? A Murder in a Small Town X.
Yep.
Okay. The gentleman in this picture is the one that he won all the money in the car at the end of the movie that was made. Okay?
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay, he died in 9/11. He was a firefighter from New York.
Okay.
So it's part of the movie, and it's like kind of tells part of his story.
Okay.
So we really want to hold on to it if we can.
Do you think it's the right image for Eastport, though?
Well, fishing has always been a big thing here, so
You like it?
yeah,
I like it too. But,
I do too.
You know, are there people that don't like it?
probably, but that's their
Do
opinion.
you ever hear
so.
from them? Most
Not
everybody
me
likes it.
personally, yeah.
Yeah. Where did they get the idea? I mean, is that somebody local, the fisherman? Or is it just some fictitious character?
I don't know. Some people say it might be of John Grady, which he's a kind of character in our town.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just part that was made. It was put there for the movie.
Just for the movie.
Yeah.
It's become kind of a symbol of Eastport now.
Yeah, a lot of people come, have the picture taken there, and it's really, I think it's a big part of us now.
So how's it going? Are you raising
Good.
the money?
Yes, it is. It's going real well.
Now, what needs to be done to it?
Okay, he needs to be painted and preserved, weather-wise.
Yep.
And they're going to be making a cement base, and the lights are going to be embedded.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
We're going to have him for a while then.
Yeah, I
hope
hope so.
Do we have a name for him?
I don't think so, and someone just said that too, but we just call him.
You ought to do a raffle and do a name contest.
Yeah, that's what someone said a while ago. So.
How's the industry going right now? We're not hearing great things.
Well, they've had some setbacks in the last couple of years, but they're growing salmon out in the bay, and I think it'll start to grow again.
Okay, so what have they done differently?
They have basically they've been taking the last couple of years to establish codes of standards in terms of environmental standards for their farming operations, and their members have been examining how environmental standards have been set in other places around the world where they farm salmon and other creatures.
Other places,
Yeah. And so there's been a lot of effort in that regard. Make sure that they've got the right numbers of salmon in their cages.
Is that kind of what they've narrowed it down to mostly?
There's that, but there's also there are things like biosecurity, making sure that when a cage does end up with some kind of pathogen, that they don't transport it from one farm to another farm. So they're very careful about making sure that their vessels are super clean, and all the boxes that they move the fish around in are clean. The feed barges are clean, all that kind of thing. These are lessons that the farms in Norway and Chile and British Columbia they've had to learn there too. And it's just they're all been tightening up on those kind of things to cut down in disease problems that will affect their businesses. Some pens can have 2,500 fish in them, and others can have 6,000. It really depends on the size, the depth of the pen.
And is that the right number now? Have we decided?
There's no right number for a pen. It has to do with current, temperature, how far you are from the bottom, tides, and so the good fish farmers factor all of those. They look at all those factors and determine the best number for the situation they're in.
So does it look good for the industry now? I mean, or where are we?
Maine has enormous potential. Maine and New Brunswick, for that matter. We've got a variety of different kinds of habitat, and not just for salmon farming, but one of the things we show here in the booth is how we're beginning to do research and demonstrations on cod aquaculture. Halibut aquaculture is probably going to be the next big thing. We had an enormous wild fishery in halibut back between the Civil War and about 1885. Wild fishery, and it was completely fished out. There is some inshore halibut today up here in Washington County, but it's not a major fishery. It's not a big enough fishery that it's a common thing to see on a restaurant menu. But we think that we're only a couple of years away from halibut becoming a major farmed finfish, and it's a great fish, really good fish. So you know, I think when we talk about aquaculture, we've got to recognize that salmon is a very important part. It's the largest marine finfish in the Northeast that's farmed, but it's not going to be the only one. There are going to be these other species as well.
Now, what about taste? Maybe I should ask this guy.
He
would know taste. You're Vinny, right?
Yep, I'm Vinny from Gold Coast Smokehouse, Lubec,
Yeah.
Maine. As far as taste goes, I've tasted salmon from all over the world, and the fish that are raised here in the Bay of Fundy by our people in aquaculture are without a doubt the highest quality that's available, in my opinion.
What about wild salmon though? A lot of people now, you know, with discretionary tastes, they're kind of choosing the wild salmon rather than the farm salmon. They say that has more of a, I don't know, more of a gamier flavor. I don't know.
Well, there are a lot of people that choose to use wild salmon. I like these particular salmon because we know what they're fed, and they take a shorter period to grow, so you're not exposed to the open ocean and certain dumping grounds. And for example, a farm-raised salmon will take 2 years to 2.5 years to grow to the same size as a wild Pacific salmon that would take 12 years to reach that same size.
Is that right?
Yeah. There was a test done recently, a blindfold test, in the southern part of New England, I believe in Rhode Island, with a group of gourmet chefs. And there were 79 chefs, and they were asked to take their salmon recipes from their restaurants, do a recipe with farm-raised Atlantic salmon from right here from this region, and also with wild North Pacific salmon. Then they were blindfolded and asked to taste each one and verify which one they liked better. And 59 out of the 79 preferred the North Atlantic salmon. So coming from the gourmet sector, the top people in the food industry, I think that's a real plus for our farm-raised salmon.
I mean, these fish reflect what they eat. And I think that one thing about farm-raised fish is that it's because you're feeding them consistently the same thing, you get a consistent salmon product. And this is not to suggest that the wild is not as good, it's just that I think that there's a lot more variation in how wild salmon tastes because they're eating things in different parts of the ocean. They're not going to all taste the same. And so I think from a restaurant point of view, restaurant people want something that tastes good, but it consistently tastes similar. Okay, so you're going to get a less variation in terms of taste, meat quality, and I mean that's one of the advantages of a farm-raised product. Is you can get it more consistently, and it will taste the same. So, I mean, I think Vinny's a very good example of kind of the spin-offs of aquaculture. We look at a lot in Washington County, we talk only about the salmon farms. We don't talk enough about the smokehouses, the people who package the fish, who transport the fish, who provide the boxes and the coolers. That's all part of the economic cluster.
I would think that this is going to be the future of this area too, wouldn't it? I mean, it was at one time, and let
me give you an example.
Yeah.
When I started with the Innovation Center in February of 1992, when I started, worldwide salmon products were about 1/8, about 1 out of every 8 seafood products. Now it's 1 out of 3. So in a 12-year period, it's gone from roughly 12% of seafood to over 30 in 12 years. And farm product is expected to be the majority by 2020, 2025 in that region. The majority of our aquatic food will be actually farmed.
And this is a great area.
And this is a great area.
Tell us why.
Well, I think in many respects it's because of the wild industry. We've got people who know how to process fish, package fish, transport it, and market it. And those are all equally important to harvesting it.